A lot of people have been curious as to how and when I started dropshipping, what got me into it, like what was my overall story slash journey with dropshipping. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys a pretty good overview of my long story with dropshipping, because it's not like I just started a few months ago. I've been doing this since 2017, not successfully. I'm just saying I've been doing dropshipping since 2017. I've been doing dropshipping pretty successfully for probably the past year now, so it's taken me quite some time, but I'm going to break down the exact time frames of like when I started, why I started, what money I started with, because I didn't start with like really any money, and I'll explain the whole process through all of that, and then fast forwarding all the way to now, where I'm now able to scale 6-figure per month stores pretty quickly. By the end of this video, you guys should probably understand that this isn't going to be some simple thing where in 1 week you launch a store and you become rich. And I'm sorry if that's what you guys are expecting, but that's not the truth at all. This was a long uphill journey, and it still is. Like, I'm still not perfect with what I do. I never will be, but I am definitely better off than when I started. So before we get into this, be sure to smash the like button and click subscribe below, because I post daily dropshipping content. Now that that's out of the way though, let's go back to 2017 when young Sebastian started dropshipping for the first time ever. Essentially, I was buying and reselling iPhones, and I was trading my time for money, and I could not automate that business because I had to physically be somewhere every single day that I wanted to make money. And if I wanted to go travel or go on a business trip or just do really anything, I couldn't make money that day because I couldn't go buy phones and stuff like that. So I realized that that was an issue, and I realized that there were other routes that I could take to actually make money that would allow me to have that freedom. After I realized I needed to make a switch, I went on YouTube, typed in how to make money online. Like every one of you guys that's probably watching this video, you guys have probably all done that. Typed in how to make money online, saw dropshipping, and started watching some videos on the topic. After a few days, I learned that I can create a Shopify store, I can link AliExpress and fulfill orders through there, I can run Facebook ads, and I can use the app Oberlo, and that's how I can run a dropshipping business. I learned all about it. I was just binge watching tons of videos on YouTube, and back in 2017, there was not as much info as there is now. There is literally enough info on YouTube to scale your store to 6 figures per month, and it's pretty crazy that people still think that there's some secret. Like, I'm telling you right now, there's not. It just takes a lot of time. So to get back on track, 2017, found that all these videos on dropshipping, learned about it. I watched a video where someone was trying to sell jewelry, like women's necklaces, and I was like, oh my god, I'm also going to do that. So I launched Facebook ads. I think I had like $100, and I spent all of my money on Facebook ads. They didn't work. I'm sure my website was just terrible, and the Facebook ads were terrible. I was using like white background photos, and it was just overall, I didn't do everything or anything right at all. Now that was expected of myself. I didn't expect myself to become a professional overnight. It's just not realistic, and a lot of people who now DM me think that that's the case, that they can start their first store and make it successful, when in reality, even the people you guys watch on YouTube like myself, or if you guys watch any other bigger YouTubers, they did not become successful overnight. It's probably going to be a similar story to mine. So essentially, I had that store that flopped, and I was like, wow, well, you know, I got impressions, I got some clicks, so that's cool, but I now have no money. And Facebook advertising seemed really expensive once I got my foot in the door with it. I was like, this is super expensive for me to test a product, and it doesn't seem efficient for what I'm doing, because I'm not a person who had like $2,000 or even $1,000 saved up. I literally had like $100, and I blew that all. After that, I saved up a few $100s, and I launched my first decent store, which was I sold fidget spinners. I was dropshipping them. That's when the trend popped up, and me and my little brother started a store and ran that, and we made maybe like $100 or $200, and then we hopped on the trend right when it was dying down, so we didn't really make a crazy amount of money, but that showed me that dropshipping is definitely something that I can do, and that there is a potential to make money on there, because I was making sales. Once I got the proof of concept that it's actually something that is doable, that was when I was just like, okay, I just need to keep going and I will make it work. So again, that store was not that good. Like, we did not run it amazing. We got a few, like, I did a few $100s in sales, maybe profited like $100, and that was it. But that was still enough to fuel me to keep going. Now after that, I ran into the issue of product research. I was like, okay, fidget spinner, that was a big trend. What's another trend? And then I had probably a few months where I just didn't run a store, because I was like, I don't know how the hell to find products, and I don't know what products sell. I was going back to jewelry and like women's bracelets and necklaces, and I was like, this is probably what everyone else is trying to do, so I cannot keep going back to that because it's probably not going to work. I then created another store where I pivoted into, I was trying to do high-end jewelry, like high perceived value jewelry, and doing like nice gold looking bracelets and necklaces and stuff like that for men, and I was going to do influencer promotions because that's what I had done with the fidget spinner store. I was like, okay, I need to do influencer promotions for that fidget spinner. I did it and it worked well. I just used meme pages. I ordered the fidget spinners myself and posted videos on an account and all that stuff, and then I sent videos of myself using the fidget spinners to these influencers. I even filmed one where I was like fidgeting with my hands, like I was tapping a pencil or something, and I was acting like I was fidgeting. And then I introduced the product, like, here's a problem, here's a solution. But it was a good concept, but the overall execution on the video was just like really bad. It was cool to see like that I was in the right direction though and doing something somewhat right. But again, the execution on the video was not good. But like I was saying, I ended up again creating this website for high perceived value jewelry, and I never launched the store at that, with those products. I created it and had it made for probably like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was perfected in my opinion, but I just was overthinking everything. I was like, oh, I don't know if this product's gonna do well. I was literally talking myself out of this business before I had even let the market test it out, which is something I always do now. But that happened, and then I went out of the country with my family and saw that people were living on like $200 to $300 every single month. And I understood that with dropshipping, I could probably end up making that every single day. Like my goal was to have a business that was making me $100 every single day profit. At that age, I think I was like 17, or I believe I was 17. And at that age, I was like, if I could just have $100 get deposited into my bank account profit, I would be so happy, because then that's $3,000 per month, and that's way more than enough for me. And by the way, it was in Costa Rica. That's where I went. And then when I got back, I was just so driven to actually make something work, because I knew that people were struggling on another part of the planet, making a few $100s a month and still were happy. And I was like, I'm in America. Better yet, I live in California. I definitely can make this work. I had all these resources in front of me that I took for granted. And in Costa Rica, they didn't really have like fast internet. Some people didn't even have laptops. I had a laptop. I had a phone. I had everything needed to make myself become successful, but I wasn't executing. So essentially what I did is I was on my phone on Instagram scrolling through. I was driven at the time. Like I had that mindset that I'm going to make this store work. And then I got hit with an ad. I'll put a photo up right here. They showed me this anchor bracelet where I was like, that is a dope product. I am just going to try it out. Like I learned on YouTube, people were talking about free plus shipping, and I'd seen other people doing it. I believe this was around the time when Sunny Co Clothing was doing that one red bikini. If you guys have been around dropshipping for a while, you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that's when they started doing this free plus shipping promotion or something like pretty close to that. So that's when I came up with the idea, like I should do that with the anchor bracelet. So I set up the website, did free plus $14.95 for shipping, which if you guys have ever done free plus shipping, you know that's a lot to charge, and it was. But here's the thing. Once I had the website done, I ended up going on and creating an Instagram page for the store. I posted maybe like 1 or 2 photos, maybe 3 of the product, and then started reaching out to boat pages and fishing pages and stuff along those lines, because I figured if people were going to buy this, maybe they owned a boat or something, or they were fishing, because anchors are on boats and people take boats out to go fishing. And then maybe someone has like a yacht or something cool and they want to buy this bracelet to wear it, and it looks cool if they're a boater. It was paracord, so it was just overall a cool product, and I thought that was a good angle to target. Now keep in mind, I developed that thought process over time. A lot of people ask me how to target certain angles and stuff. You have to just develop it. It's not something where I can just explain like how to think of angles to target. I wish it was something very simple, but it takes a lot of time to actually understand and grasp how to target specific angles for a product and also get creative. It isn't something that I developed in one day, or like just watched a video and learned how to open up my mind and target new angles for products. It's taken me quite some time to actually do so. So keep that in mind, because a lot of people ask me like how I figure out which angles to target for products. It's just consistency over a long period of time. I has developed that for myself. But essentially, again, I started reaching out to all these fishing pages, boat pages. At the time, I had $42.74 in my bank account. I know that number because that was like my, I think, second or third tattoo that I got, because it was such an important number to me for this exact reason. I ran my first promotion on this boat page. I believe it was called like Boat Lifestyle or Boat Underscore. I don't really know exactly what it was, but I ran it on this page. I paid the person $7. He was a kid and he told me like 15, and I was like, ooh, actually, can we do 7? Like that sounds more reasonable. But I sent him the money on PayPal, and then he posted my promotion, and in that first 24 hours, I believe I generated like $700, and that was when it clicked for me, when I was just like, holy shit, this is possible. And that was probably the craziest day of my dropshipping career, like the start. Obviously, I've had way bigger days, but that was the actual day that it clicked for myself when I was hyping about it, getting the notifications, like the little cha-ching sounds of sales, and I was showing my parents it was probably like every few minutes for the first few hours that I was getting sales, and I was just like, Mom, look, I'm making money right now from this Shopify dropshipping thing. And they were so surprised. Everyone was just really shocked, including myself. I was like, holy shit, this is actually working. I'm onto something. After the promotion ended, I kept doing promotions with the person and then expanded to other pages, and I did overall really well with the store. I ended up profiting a few $1,000s from that store, and then the product started to die down because it got extremely saturated. One competitor actually created the same exact website as mine, but a little bit better, and he was actually incentivizing all influencers that I was using. He was paying them $100 to not work with me. He's like, so hey, I'll pay you influencers $100 to not work with this website and then work with me, and I'll actually pay you more per post. I was a kid at the time and I only had like maybe a few grand then, and I didn't have the money to actually incentivize all of my influencers to do that. So long story short, that guy kind of just bullied me out of the market, which definitely sucked, and I learned a lot of lessons from that store. Now my story is a little unique because it's not like I had this first successful store and then all of my stores started taking off in the future and I made a shit ton of money. That's not at all what happened, and I'll explain exactly what did happen, because this is what makes my story a little unique. It wasn't as simple as a lot of people on YouTube's was, and I'm kind of grateful for it because it shaped me into the person I am today. So at that time when that store started to take off, and then once it ended, I was making YouTube videos, and my YouTube channel grew to like 1,000 subscribers pretty quickly, and I was like, holy crap, Mom and Dad, I'm also doing like YouTube, and this is growing too. And then I started doing, like, I was selling some stuff like consulting calls and all that stuff. So YouTube was paying me a little bit, and I was making ad revenue, I was doing consulting calls, so I was probably making like a few grand a month. And then I had to start high school. I had to start senior year of high school, which that put me from growing like 100 subscribers a day is what I got up to then my channel was just super stagnant. Everything was stagnant. My businesses were, because I had literally no time to focus on my businesses, on dropshipping, or on my channel, which sucked. If you guys know Hayden Bowles, he started YouTube way after me. We were friends before he even started, and I was like, bro, you should also start YouTube. Like, it's really cool, it's fun to do, and you can grow your following. And then I also helped him like start e-com stores and stuff when we were both first coming up. And then again, I had to go to senior year, he dropped out, and he grew very quickly, and I was still in high school and seeing everyone else grow. Like, a lot of my other friends blew up on YouTube, and I was still at like maybe a few thousand subscribers. At that point, I felt like I lost all hope on growing my channel, growing my e-com stores. So that put me into a really weird position where I actually went back, I believe I went back to start buying and reselling phones, because I was like, this sucks. I don't really know how to, like, I didn't know how to run Facebook ads. I didn't know any of that stuff, but I still needed to make money. So I started buying and reselling iPhones again. I was making like, again, $100 a day, maybe $200 a day at max. And this was it wasn't even every single day. So I was only making like $1,000 to $2,000 a month for a few months straight. And I would say maybe a little longer, which sucked because I went from this super big high of dropshipping and doing all this stuff to then, you know, downgrading my life a lot. And that was very unfortunate for myself, but it is part of my story. So then after doing the iPhone reselling again, I was like, I need to just keep going with something that's going to make me a lot of money. Then I got into web development and I started building websites for clients and doing all that stuff. Closed like a few deals. Maybe I made like 10 or 20 grand on it and thought I was hot shit. And then I moved to LA doing that. And then my roommates in LA pushed me some deals for doing some other client work, like with Facebook ads and stuff. And I was running e-com stores sort of, and I wasn't really making many work. And then I learned Facebook ads, and then I scaled one store to like, I think I was doing at most a few $100 a day. And then I had the store that I exposed last video where I showed my 100K product. If you guys haven't seen that, click up here. It's a pretty cool product. But I showed that, or I started that store after that. And then that was the product that took off and it did 100K, but I didn't really profit much. Like, I think I lost money on that. And then once I was scaling that store, long story short, my roommates actually kicked me out of my place in LA because I was living with a few roommates in an apartment. And long story short, they kind of told me like I wasn't really welcome, which was pretty weird to have said to you. So I just picked up my stuff and left and went back to my parents' house. And then I was in a weird position where I was like scaling this store, and then I lost a ton of money with the store, so then I tried scaling other stores, and I wasn't really making it work with Facebook ads too well. Then I pivoted into influencer marketing again with Instagram, and this was literally like maybe like the last few months of 2019, so this is recent. Like, it's not like I've been doing crazy numbers forever with dropshipping. Like, I just started understanding Facebook ads probably halfway through 2019. But again, I got into influencer marketing like late 2019 with, it was mainly one product that made me a solid amount of money. Like, I'm talking maybe I scaled it to 2K per day consistently, and I ran that up. That product made me a solid amount of income for the next few months and last month of 2019. And then 2020 hits. I ordered a ton of products in bulk from China. I won't disclose them because I'm still selling them and the stores are still bringing me in like a few $100s every single day. With those stores, I'm doing just TikTok influencers, and I have, again, US inventory, and all of those are automated. I have 2 stores that do that, and they make me a lot of, like, maybe at $100 to $300 every single day on autopilot. I don't touch them at all. I have someone managing every single thing, every aspect of the store, which is really nice, which allows me to, number one, make good amounts of money, and also it allows me to focus on bigger ventures such as this store that I'm scaling right now. And then leading up to this big store that I'm now running, I've ran a series of stores that have done really well, only scaling them on Facebook ads maybe to like $1,000 to $2,000 revenue per day. Nothing crazy like the numbers I'm doing right now, but still pretty decent. And then now we are essentially here where I'm now getting really skilled at Facebook ads, and I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how to get custom content. I know how to sell to customers properly. I know how to set up my websites really well, and I know how to manage customer support amazing, because I've had so many freaking headaches with dropshipping. Like, it wasn't like I just started it in 2017, made one store successful, and then all of my other stores were successful. It wasn't that easy at all. I had to go through that phase where all of my friends were just passing me up on YouTube and passing me up with their dropshipping stores, and I was still stuck in high school, a senior, like seeing all of my successful business friends passing me up, which definitely sucked for myself. I was upset at my parents for the longest time. Like, Mom and Dad, if you guys let me drop out, I would have had such a big YouTube channel by now, and I would have been making, crazy amounts of money, but instead I'm only at like a few thousand subscribers, blah, blah, blah. I was very bitter about the whole situation, because inside I just felt like I'd missed that huge opportunity for myself to grow and meet a lot of new people and then just expand my business career. So then rolling into 2020, how I've been able to get out of that rut, because I'm admitting this to you guys, I was definitely in a weird phase where like I just was a little helpless. I was like, I don't really know what to do with this whole dropshipping thing. Like, I didn't understand completely. I obviously knew Facebook ads and I knew how to find products, but I still had that weird feeling like I missed out on what could have happened, and I was still thinking back to that. So I would say on my like 20th birthday, which was just in March, like fairly recently, I sat down and I started planning out my days, and I threw all of my thoughts of like regretting not dropping out and all this stuff, threw all those out the window, and I was like, look, I didn't drop out. It's just that is that. I can't go back in time and change things, so I just have to make this situation and this life that I'm currently in, I have to make it the best possible life that I can live and do the best possible things I can. So I started posting on YouTube more consistently, and I started running a lot of dropshipping stores that did really well, again with Facebook ads. And then I scaled this one to now where it's at. And then I have those other stores that are doing $100 to $300 per day that are coasting. So I had good foundation. I just needed that click in my head to where like I had to throw out those bad thoughts of me regretting not dropping out and just being stuck at like, what if I dropped out? Like, how successful would I have been by now if I had dropped out? And then once I did that, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to grind with everything and go all in and have no free time in my life and see what happens. And then that was basically like 2 months ago, and I started posting every single day on YouTube, which, as you guys can see on my channel, the growth has been freaking insane. Like, I've grown 2K subs really quickly, which I'm so hyped for. Like, it makes me excited. And then my financial situation, like, I've been making a lot of money this year, but this store that I'm scaling right now is definitely not doing bad at all. It's at, I believe, like $150,000 or $145,000 in revenue now, and it's only been like 35 days or something, so it's going, I think actually 32 days or something. So essentially what I'm saying is all of this stuff that's happened in the past few months for all of my businesses, it's been because I've put in consistent work over a long period of time, both in my YouTube channel because it's growing really fast, and then my businesses, I'm scaling them really fast. Everything has been because I'm putting in work literally every single day. I'm staying up till midnight and waking up at like 5 a.m., grinding, making sure all of my customers are happy with their product, making sure you guys get a daily video on YouTube at 11 a.m. every single day. And if I'm late, I update you guys before I even like think of going past 11 a.m. I'm just overall very committed to making everything work and putting in work over a long period of time. So many people start dropshipping, and if their first store doesn't work, they give up. But it's like, listen to my story and watch this video over again if you guys guys need that motivation and need that extra push, because the first store you run is not going to be successful. The first Facebook ads you launch, they're not going to be successful. First product you find, it's going to be terrible. I was on a consulting call, I believe it was yesterday, and I told the guy, because he had never launched a store and his store didn't look terrible, but he was trying to sell a very saturated dog related product. And I told him, I was like, bro, if I told you that your 6th store would be successful, you would launch this store today, but you haven't yet because you're overthinking the product and the store, and you think that this one needs to be perfect. It doesn't. Your first store is going to be dog shit. That's what happened with me. It's what happens with everyone. There's a learning phase with this whole business model, and you just have to understand that it takes a lot of time to actually get an understanding of how to find products, how to run ads, how to set up your website, how to write copy, how to just do everything right with this business. It takes a lot of time. So when I told him, like, hey, if I could promise you that your 6th store would be successful, I'm almost positive you would launch it. That's what I want you guys to also think about. If I promised you that your 6th store would become successful, you guys would launch stores and go through products like that, like every single week, hell, maybe every single day. Overall, you would just learn so much more than you are right now if you are just waiting on a product or waiting on a store, or you've been working on a store for a month or something like that and just haven't launched. Get the product out, run ads. You will not be good the first time you do anything. You just have to consistently put in the work, and results will start to come over a long period of consistency. Another thing, just because you have one store that is decent, or that does maybe, let's just say 10K per month, because that's a pretty easy number to hit. That's just $300 a day. If you do that, yes, that is good, but that doesn't mean every single product is going to do well and every other site is going to do well. Dropshipping as a whole is changing every single month, and if you aren't doing the business model and running a store all the time, you will get left behind. I have done it and I've learned from it, because I've had times where I took a break, even if it's like a 1 or 2 month break. The Facebook strategies changed, the products that work well a few months ago changed. So you sort of have to relearn everything again, because stuff changes so rapidly in the internet world. Now, this is going to sound so cliche, and I'm sorry for that, but if there's one thing I can suggest to you guys, just be consistent with this business model. Put in work every single day, and I'm almost positive in 2 to 3 months, this will be something where you're really good at. Now, the issue is people, again, they try one store and it doesn't work and they give up. It takes a lot of time, so just don't give up at all. And also understand you don't need to know everything. A lot of people are asking me very specific questions like, hey Seb, do you use CBOs or ABOs? Or like, what's your thought process for picking like interests? Or do you run a white background photo, or do you run, a photo with this? Or how do you pick your theme? What theme do you use? What domain do you use? Like, do you use a .co, .com? All of the small questions you guys have will continue to work themselves out as you guys progress through dropshipping. It's sort of like a video game where the more levels you go through, the more things you unlock. Same thing with dropshipping. I didn't know how the hell to find products when I first started, but I unlocked that skill. I didn't know how to run Facebook ads. I unlocked that skill. I didn't know how to scale ads, and now I have unlocked that skill. Now, I know this video might have sounded a little cliche and all that stuff, but it's because it's the truth. I'm living proof that if you guys just don't give up, you can make this work very easily. It's just as simple as doing something with this business model every single day and putting in true effort. Like, I'm not saying just mess around for an hour. I'm saying go hard on it and focus every single day, and you will make it work. Here's the revenue of one of my stores. As you can tell, I've been doing really well with it, and that's proof in itself that if you just keep going, you can make this work. I literally explained to you guys how I didn't know shit. I didn't know how to set up the websites right. The Facebook ads, didn't know how to pick products. I didn't know any of that. And after a few years, I figured it out, and I'm grateful, but understand it takes a lot of consistency. So you guys who are DMing me saying like, yo Seb, I'm on my first store, how do I do CBOs? It's like, I don't even want to tell you, because I know you won't even make this work the first time. Like, just launch ads, even if they don't perform well. Keep going and keep running ads, and it will end up working out if you just stay at it. So again, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Again, smash the like button and click subscribe below, because I post daily dropshipping content. If you guys have questions, concerns, comments, or anything like that, drop those in the comment section below. But other than that, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.